Today I'm gonna show you exactly how we took one brand from a broken welcome flow to $72,000 in additional revenue, and I'm gonna break down every single email that we created so you can go and build this yourself. So these are some of the results that we've got for our clients: 35% of revenue coming from email, $133,000 from flows, 40,000. You can see the 10% submit rate resulting to 25,000 in total revenue. So these are just some of the results we've got for our clients. And so before we begin in the welcome flow strategy and how we did it, let me just set the scene of why it's actually important in 2026, right? So in 2026, in this landscape, new competitors are spawning every single day who is hungry to sell the same product to the same customer that you're targeting. So if you don't differentiate yourself when the new customer interact with your brand, you're gonna lose customers to your competitors. So email welcome flow is gonna be the first touch point of the customer to the brand. So it's really important that you get this right. So first email is equals to first impression of the brand, and first impression is gonna influence their buying decision, whether they're buying right now or whether they're gonna buy in the future. So this is the highest revenue generating flow, and you've got no room for error in this flow. So poor welcome flow with poor strategy and designs means you're losing a huge chunk of revenue behind on a daily basis, which we don't want to do. And that's why I'm gonna tell you like what are the strategies that you can use for the welcome flow that is gonna make sure that you maximize the revenue that you're gonna get from the welcome flow. So you don't want to be like this guy. So even though you're welcoming new customers and but if you're burning revenue behind the scenes, then there's no point in welcoming them, right? So that's that. And so like before working with us, let me just show you what the welcome flow was like before they started working with us. So they only had 2 emails in the welcome flow, which was just not enough to build connection and trust with the new customer. And as a result, the brand was losing a lot of revenue and the founder weren't aware about it. That's the worst thing that can happen. You're losing revenue and you're not even aware about it, right? That's what was happening though. And the design and copy was too generic, looked like it was put together in the final 10 minutes before it was slapped in klaviyo. Just generic templates, no actually customization in the designs, and there was no proper strategy behind welcome flow, and brand was losing easy sales because of their current welcome flow. So they just had 2 email in their welcome flow, and one went like welcome to the brand. I cannot specifically tell the brand name, but you get the point. Like this is how it was. So welcome to the brand, here's your 10% off, and your second email was your 10% off is expiring soon. So this is exactly how it looks like when brand is losing money with no proper strategy and execution behind emails, and this is not what we want to do, right? So after working with us, we created 7 email sequences with each emails doing its own job, which went from giving them an offer to introducing to the brand to building a connection to the brand and also building trust, creating that desire, handling objections of the customers, and then giving them an urgency to purchase. So this is the strategy that we use, and we're gonna go deep on later down in the video. So design and copy were on brand after that, which maximized the conversion rate, and the timing and the message that the customer got from the welcome flow from the brand was on point, and as a result, welcome flow was not losing any easy sales anymore, right? So this is how it's gonna look when the brand has proper strategy and execution behind email, because if every email that you're sent has a specific purpose on making the customers buy from your brand, then the system is working, and if the system is working, the money is getting printed, right? That's what we exactly want for our welcome flow. So what's the strategy we use, right? So this is the strategy, this is the overall how it's gonna look. So the first thing you do is attract the customer to your email list, and that's gonna happen through the pop-up. That's gonna happen to the offer, right? That comes down to the pop-up, and then once you get the email list, you welcome them and then give them an offer, because that's what they signed for. You give them an offer as soon as they get into the email list. So once you build the trust, you create the desire by showcasing the benefits of the product, and the next thing you do is you actually build a connection with the customers, right? And once you build the connection, you build the trust with them, create the desire once you've already welcomed them, build connection and trust, and then you handle objections on what are some common objections that the customer might have before buying. Maybe it could be refund policy, maybe it could be shipping time, it could be anything, right? And after that, once we've educated them, once we've nurtured them, once we build the trust and we've done everything, then we gotta give them that urgency of using the discount code, and then that's gonna make them act, and then they're gonna buy, right? So that's the strategy we use. So if you see the email structure, the email 1 is gonna be offer plus introduction. So in this email, you have to deliver your discount and incentive, like whatever it's on the pop-up, and give subscriber a warm first look of who you are and what you sell. Just basic introduction of the brand. And once you've given them an offer and once you've introduced them to your brand, the next thing you do is build connection through founder or brand story. So share the why behind the brand, like why the brand exists and the origin story that makes subscribers feel connected to something bigger than the product. It's just gonna build that connection with the customers. And the third thing you do is build build trust through social proof. Like social proof is one of the highest lever thing that you can do if you want to make sure that you want to convert the customer. So that's what exactly what we're gonna do in the email 3. So in here, you just let your customer do the talking. You've done enough talk, you've introduced yourself, you've built a connection, and then you let the customer do the talking after that, which could mean you could feature a review, testimonial, UGC to show new subscribers that people actually love your brand. And once you do that, you create desire by showcasing the benefits of the product, right? So what are the things they get if they have a product? So shift from features to feelings here, paint a picture of how your product improves their life and why they need it. So the fifth thing that you do is you handle the most common objections. So you address the hesitation that stop people from buying. It could be price, ingredients, shipping, results, return policy, before they even think to ask, right? Before they even think to ask. If you already handle that in the first place, then that's gonna likely push them towards the edge of buying. And the sixth email that you send is welcome offer urgency. Remind them that the discount won't last forever. Create urgency and push them towards making a decision. And the last is last chance, like hardcore urgency, welcome offer. So final call. This is it. So this is the last reminder before the offer disappears. Make it personal, direct, and impossible to ignore. So this is the structure that we used. So let me just go through the specifics on all the email so that you can build it for yourself and you actually understand like why this strategy works, right? So email 1, if we go on to the email 1, it's just offer an introduction. The goal of this email is it just has one job, that is to deliver the incentive ASAP and make the subscribers feel like they made the right decision signing up. And this is the highest opened email in your entire flow. Everyone's gonna watch it, so you can't afford to waste it, right? So your first thing you do is you give them an offer and you introduce themselves to the brand. And then in terms of brand introduction, just keep this short, 1 or 2 sentences max. You don't want them to read a whole entire paragraph. So this is not the place for your full brand story. That's email 2. So just answer who you are and who do you help. So you can tell like we're this brand, we make this product for this person who wants this outcome. It's as simple as that, and it's just gonna be extremely clear, and anyone who's subscribed to the brand exactly knows like what they're getting if they subscribe, right? So email design and layout, as you can see here. So, and the second thing is you don't want to make this that long as well. You don't want to, because people are fried in 2026. They watch TikTok, they go on social media, their brain is fried. So you want to make it short, concise, you know, make it just interesting, and the design has to be kind of, it just has to trigger some kind of dopamine in that. You have to make it interesting. So with that being said, what's the email design and layout it's gonna have to look like? It's gonna be like logo at the top center, basic, so hero image that reflects the brand vibe, discount code in a highlighted box or large bold text, don't make it long like I just said, and one clear CTA, short brand intro copy, make this short, keep it clean, no clutter, no distraction. So you can see the examples in here. So all of these emails follow the same principles. They've got a huge discount on the top above the fold here, and just welcome to the brand, you know, just give them the discount this way, and then just give a short introduction, and then that is gonna do good for this email. So right, so let's just move on to email 2. Email 2 is building a connection through founder's story. So what's the goal of this email? So the goal of this email is you need to stop selling and start connecting, right? And so most brands skip this and do it poorly, and they never get to build a connection with the customer, which is the mistake that you can't afford to make in 2026, because connection is something people deeply crave in this scenario because of AI and stuff. We need connection as a human beings. As a brand, it goes across the board. You get the point, right? So most brands skip this or do it poorly. They write a boring about us paragraph and call it a story. That's not what this is. This email exists to make the subscriber feel something. When people connect with the why behind the brand, they stop being a subscriber and they start becoming a customer who actually care, because they understand why the brand exists in the first place. And your story is always a competitive advantage in the market where multiple brands are selling the same product. If you're selling the same product as other competitor, then what's your competitive edge? It's going to be your story, right? Because even if you're solving the same problems, even if you're providing the same solution, you know, if you build some sort of connection with the customers, and if you're doing a good job than your competitors, you're going to win in this market, right? So this is the goal of the email too, just building a connection. So why story matters before the sale though? So most new subscribers aren't ready to buy after email 1. They grab the discount, they're curious, but they're not convinced yet. Email 2 is what bridges the gap. A great brand story does 3 things: makes the brand feel human and real, creates an emotional reason to buy beyond just the product, builds loyalty before a single purchase is made. So this is why it's extremely crucial, so that there's some kind of emotion that goes on in there as a human being, right? And that's gonna make them buy from the brand. So it's just like building a connection is just extremely important. Just that it's that simple. You get the point. So like, what's the email design and layout for this specific email though? So this email should feel different, not as the email one. So founder photo, you can, if you've got a founder photo and if you're willing to put your own photo on the email, then just put your own photo, or behind the scenes brand image works great. And then longer copy is acceptable in here if the story is long, but don't make it a huge paragraph, but still, like, you get the point. It doesn't have to be just 1 to 2 sentences. You can tell a little bit story, because this is building the connection. And then less emphasis on button and CTA. You don't want CTA all over the place in this. You're genuinely trying to connect with the brand and not trying to sell here. So still include a soft CTA though, like at the bottom of the email, and also remind them the discount is still active. So text heavy email actually perform well because they feel genuine. So in this example, these are graphic based, but like this is a text based, right? So this is the way you can go about it. This worked for this brand as well, right? But the thing is, if you're sending a text, it can just be like a default from the email that you're sending as well. It doesn't have to be any graphic here as well, right? So here are some of the examples that you can see here. And so next up we have email 3. So build trust through social proof. This is where we actually build trust. Now we've introduced the customers, we've built the connection. Now it's time for us to build trust. And how do we build the trust? It's through social proof. So what's the goal of this email? So by now your subscribers knows who you are, why you exist, but knowing is not enough. They need to believe. There needs to be a trust factor between the customers and the brand. So email 3 is where you hand the mic to your customer and let their words do the convincing. Social proof is one of the most important conversion tool in marketing, because it removes all the biggest barrier to purchase. It removes doubt from the head of the customer. So you have to be using social proof in order for the customer to actually believe that the brand is legit, right? So what are the things to include? So first is customer reviews and testimonial. Pull out your best reviews, not the one with 5 stars, the one with specifics, not a generic one, with the specific problem that's solving for the customer. Next up, we have UGC. If you have a customer posting videos about your product, just use them, or photos. And then if you've got a really great numbers, like a 4.8 stars across 2,400 plus reviews, this kind of thing builds instant credibility. Numbers feels trustworthy. And the next thing we have, if your brand is mentioned on some press, then you just put in there, like you just add scene in, and then you put in the media mentions in there. And so like, how do you actually structure this email? So open with the short line that set up the social proof. And so even on the subject line, you can have something as, don't just take out word for it, and here's what our customers are saying. And you feature 2 to 3 strong reviews from the customer's name and photo if possible. Add a UGC image and close with the star and in with the CTA, and also reminding them this discount is still live. So some of the examples is, as you can see, a lot of sites have been upgraded and 800 plus positive reviews. And then there are all of these reviews in here. And then we're still reminding them of the discount code, right? And the same is backed by dermatologist in here. And then what the customers are saying, and you get the point. And we're still reminding them of the discount. And like I said, press mentions as seen is, like whatever, if you're mentioned in some of these publications, then you can be using it in here. And after that, we've got email 4. And this is where we actually create desire through the benefits of the product. So if they use the product, what are the benefits that the customers get? So the goal here is to make them want it, not just need it, but actually want it. And there's a difference. So by this point, your subscribers knows your brand, trust your story, and has seen real customer result. Now it's time to communicate what your life looks like with your product in it. And this email is about transformation, shifting from what the product is to what the product does for them. So you get the point. Like all of these emails in here, email 1, 2, 3, 4 is doing its own job, and it's slowly pushing them over the edge of them buying, right? All of these emails have their own specific purpose in there. We're not just blasting in this email in terms of welcome flow with no strategy behind it. And this is what generates revenue, right? And so this is the goal in here. And so feature versus benefit. So the most important distinction in this email, most brands write about it, features, but benefits are what sells the product. So what is, like, how does the, not just ingredients, right? What does the ingredient do? Like, how does the product change the life of the customers? We've got to talk about the benefits, not just the features. But a feature is what the product has, and a benefit is what the customers get. So list out 3 to 5 core benefits, and for each one, lead with the outcome, not the ingredient or the spec. So you can make this personal, write it like you're talking to one person, not just a crowd. Like, what do you get as a one human being if you use this product? And everyone's gonna get connected to that. And so the design and layout, like bold transformation statement as the opening line, benefit listed cleanly, short headline plus 1 or 2 sentences. It's before and after section if relevant to the product, lifestyle imagery. If you've got that, and then CTAs to directly connect to the desire you've built up. So these are some of the examples. So these are what happens when you use the product. So from puffy and tired to smooth and lifted in just 1 hour. They're not talking about the features in here. They're talking about what your skin is gonna look like. Similarly, they're showing the real transformation in here, and then you're showing the difference before and after here, you know, just so what happens when you use the product. So this is the kind of thing that you want to show in this email. Now we've done all sort of those things. Now it's time to handle the most common objections. So the goal in this email is, I mean, this is actually the most underrated email in the entire flow as well. Maybe subscribers who hasn't yet bought might have some reason, a hesitation, right? Just a little voice in their head is like, but what about this? What about that? What about this? And so this email exists to silence that voice. You're not pushing them to buy. You're removing every excuses not to. Don't write this email convert subscribers who would have never bought otherwise. So the thing you need to understand is why is the objection killing the sales silently? Like most of the brand, they never address objections on the first place, right? You cannot just expect a customers to buy without you handling their objections in the first place. So they just keep sending discount reminder and wonder why people aren't buying. The truth is people don't buy when they have unanswered questions. So now you build trust, you've shown them the social proof, you've done all sort of things. Now, like, what might be the reason why the customer is not buying? So this is the email where we answer that. They don't email you asking for clarification. They just close the tab and forget about you if you don't address the objections, right? So objections are silent killers. The subscribers doesn't tell you what's stopping them. They just don't buy, and we don't want that. This email is how you get ahead of that. You bring the objection up yourself first, address it head on, and eliminate it before it has a chance to stop the sale. So here are most of the common objections across the brand that works across the board most of the time. So first is always the price. It's too expensive, like first off, right? And the next is, does it actually work? Like, does this product that I'm trying to buy actually work? And second is ingredients. Some people might have concern about the ingredients, and maybe it's shipping and delivery, returns and guarantee. And some people are naively saying that it might not work for my situation, right? I mean, this is how they're looking, like, are you sure? Like, is this the product that I want? Like, yeah, right? And so how do you specifically identify your brand's objection, right? So regardless of what brand you're running, this is where you find the objection from. First is customer reviews. Second is support email, that the email that you're constantly getting from the customers. Third is FAQ page and competitor review and comment section. So these are the places where you can identify your brand's objection. So some of the examples are, they're just handling the objection, what makes Sleep Elixir unique, and they're just answering that, right? And how soon will I see the result? And then they're answering this, right? So you can have something like, let's just clear things up and let's just handle the objection. You could go this route, you could go this route, it doesn't really matter, but the thing that matters is you actually handle the objection before they buy from you. So the next stop we have email 6, and this is where we actually give them an urgency of the welcome offer. So email 6 is where you light a fire. Up until now, the sequence has been warm, educational, and relationship focused. This email shifts the energy entirely, and the discount is expiring soon, and the subscribers needs to know that. Urgency is one of the oldest and most effective conversion trigger in marketing, but only when it's real. Fake urgency destroys trust, and real urgency drives action. So it has to be real though. So if you're sending an urgency to some customers, like let's just say the offer ends midnight, and then you're running the same offer the day after that, the customers are gonna notice that, and they're not gonna trust that offer if you're running in the future. So we don't want that, right? We don't want that. And so why urgency works? So human beings are wired to avoid loss more than they're motivated by gain. So when someone feels like they're about to lose access to something valuable, a discount, a limited offer, an exclusive deal, their brain treats it as a threat, and their threat response is what gets the sale. They might lose the discount, and they don't want to lose the discount, and that's why they're gonna buy it. So here's the key: the urgency has to be genuine, like we already talked about. If you tell someone the discount expires tonight and send them the same discount tomorrow, you've just taught them that your deadlines mean nothing, right? It just means nothing, and they'll never take your urgency seriously again, which I've just told you. So this is not what you want to do. It has to be genuine, and urgency drives a lot of sales. And so the email last is, this is the hardcore offer. So this is the hardcore urgency. This is the last time you're gonna get this offer. That's the energy in here. So this is it. This is the final email, the last chance for your subscribers to take advantage of the welcome offer before it disappears for good. So email 7 is the closer. It needs to be short, direct, personal, impossible to ignore. No more education educating, no more storytelling, no more building. Just talk about the offer in here, right? So email design, like plain text or minimal design. So I'm gonna share the link of this docs down in the description below, so you can go in here and then take a look at it and then do it for yourself, right? So here are the email design, like 1 or 2 short paragraph and the guarantee reminder, no distraction, this, that. So some of the example is last chance, you know, and then the last, this final chance to save 10%, last call for on-time delivery. You know, you might be missing on this thing, you might be missing on this thing. Here's what you might miss if you don't take action right now, you know. So you just give them a hard urgency. You get the point, right? So as you can see, all of these emails are doing their own job, right? They're not there just for the sake of sending an email. Every email that we send and that we crafted is doing its own job, right? So the first thing you did is you just give them an offer and introduce the customer to the brand. The second thing you did is build the connection through founder story. Third thing you did is you build the trust through social proof. Fourth thing you did is creating a desire through benefits. Fifth thing you did is handling the most common objection, and then urgency, and then last one. So as you can tell, like every email has its own purpose. Every email has its own purpose. It's not some random send. So you get the point. And if you've implemented this strategy right now, like whatever you have going on in your welcome flow, I swear to God, that's gonna 2x your welcome revenue. You might be convinced by this point as well, right? All of these things are there for a purpose, and it just one email leads to another, and it just works. It works, you know, it works. And so I want you to use this. And if you want help setting this up, you can just book in a call. If you're an e-commerce brand doing $50,000 or more and you want help with email, whether it's just a welcome flow or whatever it might be regarding email, then you can just book in a call, free consultation call. We're gonna go over like what your current situation is and what are the potential that you can have, and you know, generate about 30 to 40% from email. So this is where you can find me on X, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. So I'm gonna link this docs in the description below, and then you can find me. You can book a call, you can contact me, just message me saying, hey, like I need this, I have this problem going on in a brand, and I'm gonna reach out to you and I'm trying to help you, right? So this is it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one, and we'll keep this running.